Hello, McFluffy52 here, back with some more Phyrexia All Will Be One action, and I'm going to ask you a question. Have you ever heard of Ovika, Enigma Goliath? Well, we're playing a deck based off that exact pun. We're playing Ovika, Enigma Goliath in a 5-color reanimator type deck where we hope to get Ovika, Enigma Goliath onto the battlefield and maybe potentially cast Herd Migration with it. The idea being is Ovika it says whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create X 1/1 Phyrexian Goblin creature tokens, where X is the mana value of that spell. They gain haste until end of turn. Well, Avika works really well with Herd Migration in that regard, because Herd Migration costs 7, so we would get 7 1/1 Hasty Goblins, and then Herd Migration would hopefully create 5 3/3 Beast creature tokens, which would be awesome. Besides that, Avika works incredibly well with Leyline Binding because Leyline Binding is technically 6 mana cost, but it ends up costing 1 less for each basic land type we control. So hopefully we'll be able to get a bunch of basic land types, reanimate Ovika by discarding it, and then reanimating it with Vat Emergence, and then cast like Leyline Binding or something like that, and create a bunch of goblins and win that way. So let's see how we go ahead and do on the rank ladder. I've played this deck a few times in the standard queue. It was pretty fun. It turned out alright, so hopefully we can emulate that on the rank ladder. There'll be a full deck tech and like a recap at the end of the video, so stick around if you're interested in that. Also, if you enjoy Magic Gathering arena videos or content, or just arena and unique decks, consider subscribing because we can try to make new decks every single day. Very interesting videos and decks every day. We don't have a red source here, but we do have enough to cast Sunset Revelry. We have a Vika. I'm not entirely sure if I've done the land-based justice in this deck. We're going to go ahead and get rid of the Sunset Revelry because we don't have the mana to cast it. I think we could probably benefit from a few more duels, or... oh no. Sunset Revelry would have been great in this situation. Well, Herd Migration, we can discard it, find a land, and gain 3 life. Or we can go for the throat, anything important that they play. We're going to hold off playing Bankbuster here, I think, a bit. What do they hit off of this? Another Reckless Impulse and a Feldon. Alright, we'll hold up, go for the throat for the Feldon, maybe. Go ahead, discard this, gain 3 life, and find ourselves a Plains. So the primary colors of this deck, I believe, are red, white, and green. So it's sort of Naya based, but yeah. I'm gonna go Path of the Festival here. We get to find another basic land here. Go ahead, find another green source, or actually we'll find a blue source. That should make our Leyline Bindings cost 1 mana. There's a swamp on the top of the library. Because there are 3 or more basic land types among the lands we control, we can actually scry here. Yeah, we'll go do that. To the bottom. Hopefully we draw into something good. We can Leyline Binding one thing and then go for the throat another thing, so that is something. Opponent presumably has a play with fire. No, they have a Phoenix Chick. Okay. Alright, so we can go for the throat. We actually might wait until their turn to do this then. Yeah, we'll wait until their turn. Because we can flash these in since they have flash. When Leyline Binding enters the battlefield, exile target non-land permanent an opponent controls until it leaves the battlefield. Battery. Rabbit Battery. Reconfigures it onto the Phoenix Chick. This means that we can blow them out when they go to attack, because they'll lose the rabbit, or the rabbit battery will fall off. And then we're going to wait till the blocker is phased to do our next thing, because I think our opponent's probably going to cast something. Alright, well, since they're not going to cast anything, we'll go ahead and get rid of their Feldon. 2 mana up. What are they going to play? Do they have nothing? Are we going to actually be able to survive our mono-red opponent's onslaught? Kind of shocking to me. We'll play Bankbuster here, and I think we'll just go ahead, draw a card, and hold up the Leyline Binding. Why does it want to hold up the Plains here? or sorry, the Zeotora's Proving Ground. That's kind of absurd. We'll go ahead past turn, I think, actually, and then we'll, if our opponent does anything, we can respond with the Leyline Binding. Monastery Swiftspear, that is annoying, but I think we're running some depopulates here, which is good. Do they have any spells in the graveyard that they can cast? No, they don't actually. So it costs 3 mana to cast spells from the graveyard. Presumably our opponent... Nope, they're not going to stack up their rabbit batteries. Good move by them. We'll flash in the Leyline Binding, get rid of the Bloodthirsty Adversary to reduce some of the damage we're taking, and draw a card with Bankbuster. Path of the Festival is nice, but still, we need a sweeper or something else. Another Leyline Binding is nice. I think we'll go ahead and draw a card here. Sunset Reverie is just the thing that I wanted to see. This will go ahead, gain us 4 life and create 2 blockers. So now our opponent does have to stack these things up. Reckless Impulse off the top is brutal. Into another Reckless Impulse. You gotta be kidding me. That is all 4 copies of Reckless Impulse, I think. Nope, 3. 3 copies of Reckless Impulse. Or sorry, nope, that was all 4 copies of Reckless Impulse that they've managed to hit to draw into tons of more action. Another Rabbit Battery. We're gonna choose to block these Monastery Swiftspears. It would be nice to get rid of the Rabbit Batteries, but I think our best hope here is to just draw with his Bankbuster and hopefully find a sweeper. Vat Emergence means that we cannot reanimate anything because, well, we don't have anything. Alright, this is kind of mana neutral. Yeah, we can get it if we find a sweeper. No, we didn't find a sweeper. Path of the Festival, we can scry one and then we can remove something with our go for the throat here. We'll grab a white source because if we do need to find a sweeper, that would be good. We'll shuffle away the Triland because that's not going to be exactly what we need here. Opponent has a Rabbit Battery in exile that they will be able to cast. Hopefully they've not found their 5th copy of Reckless Impulse. That is we're looking at 4 damage here. Well, I guess we could choose not to block anything, and then we can start blocking with Bankbuster. We're going to reconfigure, just so that nothing dies, presumably. Good stuff. We'll take 6. I don't know if we want to take 6. Oh yeah, we can just Leyline Binding something. Alright, we'll go ahead Leyline Binding their Rabbit Battery, I think. Yeah, we'll get rid of that. No blocks. My turn. Another Sunset Reverie is amazing. 4 life, 2 creatures. And then we can actually go ahead and just do this. And yeah. We get to scry again, we'll be able to find another land, which is nice. So we can go ahead and find another red source. So we'll probably be needing it. Bankbuster, honestly, we'll keep it. We will keep it. We have Bankbuster as a blocker here. 5 colors holding up against mono red. I'm not sure I would be playing Rabbit Battery over Play with Fire. I'm presuming that they don't have Play with Fire here. They haven't drawn into it. And they don't seem to have any, well, if they hit, what would be the worst here is if they hit a, Bloodthirsty Adversary. Go ahead, crew this. Rending Flame. Fair enough. We'll double block Kamano and get rid of it. Take 6. We have Go for the Throat. We have a new Bankbuster that can draw us a card. See what we draw into. A land. Nice. Alright, this leaves us with how much mana left over? Not enough. Okay, so we'll hold off Path of the Festling, and we'll just go for the Throat, whatever turns out to be the biggest threat. Would be nice to scry another time, but we gotta believe we're gonna draw into some, like, sizable action instead of just removal here soon. Kamano is unfortunate, but that is okay. Past the blockers, go ahead, block this. One blocker to damage. Psych, get rid of the Monastery Swift Spear. That falls off. We take 3, or we don't take anything actually. And we top deck a big score. Alright, I think we play a big score then, discarding Vat of Emergence. Draw into a Fable. And draw another card? Another big score. Okay, well this is awkward. We're in the danger zone. Nope, they top decked a land, so we get to block their rabbit battery if they go in with everything. Though they could just stack it up and make a 3. They don't stack it up. I mean, this means that they're live to removing us quite easily, but I think we're gonna go for it. Jetmir's Garden is not what we wanted to see. Get rid of the Jetmir and a big score, I think. Dig, dig, dig. Ovika, that is very good. So play this. Play another Fable. Create 3 goblins. Draw a card. Okay, does their opponent have any direct damage left to kill us? That is the question. We could swing in here, but I think we're gonna go ahead and wait a turn before we swing in. Unfortunately, one thing I realized is flashback. Despite this being 5 mana flashback, you only get three goblins when you cast the Path to the Festival, or Path to the Festival. I can English. Opponent does not have anything. Well, this is gonna do as well. It's gonna do us real well. We can go ahead and discard this mountain, hopefully draw into something relevant. Another Ovika is not going to help, so we can discard Ovika, create 2 treasures, create 4 goblins, draw 2. We get to play a Fable of the Mirror Breaker to create 3 more goblins. And then we can play a Path of the Festival to create 3 more goblins and tutor up 1 more land. And we'll tutor up the plains. There should be basically no lands in our deck. There's still probably 10 of them, but you know. And then we'll go ahead and crew this with that. I think we're gonna go ahead and swing in with a few things. And our opponent will have to choose how they want to block. We'll leave back 5 blockers here, I think. 6, you know what, 6. We'll save. We'll go safe in 6. Because if they do have a end the festivities, that would be kind of rough. But I think we'll still be fine here. Opponent's gonna take probably a fair amount of damage. We beat Mono Red. Of course I'm saying this before we actually do, you know, bite my tongue. We get to draw and discard more with this Fable Mirror Breaker on our next upkeep. And boom! First dub in ranked with this deck. Goodness gracious, that was a lot of fun. We skirted along. There's what were they? Sunset Rivalry saved us there, gaining 4 life, creating 2 1/1s. We really just kind of skirted along until we got the Ovika, and we were just able to hardcast Ovika. We didn't get the Herd Migration with Ovika, but Herd Migration is also just a great spell for finding, or you can channel it to find yourself a basic, which is super good because it gains you 3 life and finds you a basic. So you can fix your mana. Alright, this is a really slow hand. Our opponent's going first. We'll see how it goes. Mono black is a bad sign, but who knows, you know? Do we want to have Fable the Mirror Breaker or Bank Buster on Courage? We'll go with Fable. No, we can go Bank Buster. Never mind. I don't know what I'm doing. We'll just play out the tap land first. Shakedown heavy. Our opponent's laying down the cards here. Populate is nice, so we might just go Path of the Festival here to find ourselves another white source so we can cast this to populate whenever we want. Sunset Reverie will actually take that. I do love me Sunset Reverie when we're playing from behind. Karn Silex. Interesting. Opponent. I'm gonna go ahead and let you draw a card. Because them having cards in hand is actually good for depopulate, funny enough. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and depopulate now. And then we can play, or channel like a herd migration and play out a bank buster. Evoke Despair. That hurts. That does hurt. Or we can play out a Sunset Reverie here because I think they have more cards in hand, more life. Okay, well, they had more cards in hand. That is true. Go ahead and play out a Fabled Rebreaker then. This will eat up 2 Invoke Despair triggers if they go ahead and invoke. I feel like that's part of the reason why Fable is also one of the most go-to cards. Is because, well, at least sort of counters Invoke Despair. You do lose it entirely, but the opponent only does 2 damage and draws a card. Thank you, opponent, because now our Sunset Reverie will work. You may discard a card and then draw 2. Honestly, I'm pretty happy with my hand. I don't know about you guys, but this one looks pretty good to me. Play out a Bank Buster here, and then play out a Sunset Reverie. Now we'll draw a card, gain 4 life, and create 2 dorks. We hit all of them. Every single one of them, and then we'll be able to actually herd migration the following turn. Or not this next turn, but the following turn. We'll be able to play out... You're kidding me. Why do you have... What? What? I mean, sure, I guess. You got us. You did get us. There is credit to that. I think we have 2 herd migrations in the entire deck, and we managed to draw into them, which is cool. We'll go ahead and draw a card. Opponent. Children's Edict. Okay. Leyline Binding is nice. I think we'll play out a Bank Buster and decide whether or not we want to draw a card soon. Or draw a card or play Leyline Binding. It depends what our opponent does here. Their Karn Silex does pose a bit of a danger here. I think we'll go ahead and take our beats because if they don't play out anything else relevant, we can just draw a card. Shield would be kind of lame. They could blow up our Bank Busters with their Silex. They're looking at it, I think. Yep, there you go. Draw a card here. That is fine with us. We still have card draw in hand. And we also have Domain. Create 5 3/3s. And then we get to do it again next turn. So, will our opponent be able to overcome this? Do they have sacrifices a token creature? That's funny. And we can get rid of their... Okay, we'll get rid of that on our upkeep. So we don't actually have to go ahead and lose any life. We'll double block. Fine with me. Get rid of the life gainer. Yep. Come on here. No shield root allowed. I refuse to lose life on my upkeep. Draw a card. Move to our main phase. Go ahead, attack in with everything. Bonk, bonk, bonk. Do we want to play out another herd migration, or do we want to fable the Mirror Breaker? I think we would just play out herd migration here. Surprised that we're getting a herd migration win. Presumably we're getting a herd migration win. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and discard a land here. Play out Ovika. Attacking. We need to hold 2 back. So if we hold 2 back, we deal 3 times. Or how much damage are we swinging with everything? They block one of them. They take 7 times 3. They take 21 damage, but they gain 7 life. Now if we hold back 2, they take 5 times 3, 15 damage, but they gain 7 life. Okay. Yeah, this still seems worth. And then next turn we can finish our opponent off, most likely. And we can double block the Concealing Curtains. Oh no no. I mean we have 2 pretty good cards in hand regardless. Fable or Big Score. Big Score is the better one right now. They take it. Sad. Big sad. Are we running 3 herd migrations? We got herd migration and a Vika on the battlefield at the same time. Wow, this deck is actually a lot more fun than I expected. I think we're running really well at the moment, let me clarify. But I'll grab another red. And to populate, I don't think we want to be casting that anytime soon, unfortunately. And we'll play out a land, I think. I was thinking about holding it up, but I think we just kill our opponent here. I think this is lethal. I'm not going to do the math. You know what they say, math is for blockers. And boom. 5 color beating mono black. Wow. I did not anticipate this hodgepodge would work that well. I will say one thing that we are doing with this deck is we're playing that of Rebirth, I think is our reanimation spell. I forget why I'm playing that over Cruelty of Gix. Oh, I know, I remember. Cruelty of Gix has 2 black mana pips in it, so we're playing Vat Emergence. Because it's only 5 mana with 1 black pip, and then it says put target creature from a graveyard, so you can reanimate your opponent's creatures, is another cool thing. So, yeah. Maybe we'll be able to reanimate an opponent's Atraxa, which would be really funny. It's a pretty good hand if we can find a land. Even if we don't find a land, it's not bad. We only have 4 Vat Emergence in our deck. Opponent might be playing... I think they're just playing Grixis. Go ahead, draw a card here. Hopefully we find a land. We do find a land. We at least make our land drop here. Probably play Fable the Mirror Breaker to get rid of a Vat or Emergence, or we can discard Ovika and reanimate it, potentially. Uh-oh. I know what our opponent's playing. They're playing Ratadrabik combo deck. Alright, well, if we get to keep this Goblin Shaman around, we get to reanimate Ovika next turn. Well, if both our Fable and our Shaman survive, we actually get to create, or reanimate Ovika. See if our opponent will stop it. They choose to double attack in. We'll go ahead and take the damage. 6 damage is a lot. Bloodtide Harvester is a crazy creature. Absurd value. Oh my goodness, they drew into way too many blades. Not the end of the world. But you don't get the ETBs with Blade of the Shared Souls, which is something important to note. Go ahead and get rid of Ovika and a reanimation spell. And then, I guess we can just play out this. And, well, we'll go for the, No. We'll hold it back as a blocker, I think. return Ovika from the graveyard to the battlefield. Nice thing about Ovika, oh, we get to proliferate. That's super cool. I forgot about that. So we get to flip our Fable of the Mirror Breaker, which is good because it acts as protection against a Shieldred's Edict if our opponent is playing that. We also can crew our Bankbuster with our Goblin Shaman token and our Reflection of Kiki Jiki to make another profitable block. We have Celestis, which is pretty good. We have Reckoner Bankbuster to draw cards. We don't have any other real good cards to cast though. So we'll probably draw a card, play Celestis. Hopefully our opponent doesn't have a good way to remove Ovika. It has Ward 3 and pay 3 life, so it's a relatively well defended, but if you want to get rid of it, you can get rid of it. Ow, okay, our opponent's playing, I don't know if this is, no, I think this might actually be in the combo deck. I never actually watched the full combo deck, but was gonna say, I don't know if, yeah, I don't think I mentioned this. The opponent here is playing a combo deck with Ratadrabik that actually saw tournament play and actually made it to the top 8. So Blade of Shared Souls allows you to legend rule your creatures, which is important here. Wait a minute. Oops. Thought they made a bit of a mistake there. That's fine. It happens, opponent. It happens to the best of us. We create 3 goblins. Ow. We create 3 more goblins, or sorry, 2 more goblins. Ow. And then we can copy our Goblin Shaman token here and attack in with all of our thingies on the ground, I think, and in the air. Actually, we'll hold like 1 or 2 of these back. And actually, if we're attacking with 3 here, that's not very profitable attack, is it? Yeah, we'll go ahead with these. Call it a day. Bonk. But yeah, the opponent's playing a super cool deck. We can actually crew our Reckoner Bankbuster with our Goblin tokens, which is actually sort of relevant as well. Is this deck kind of good? I wonder. Unfortunately, our opponent here is gonna get rid of our Ovika, but we have Vat Emergence, so we can return it to the battlefield again, which is nice. So our opponent doesn't actually profit too much from that. My turn. We will be able to proliferate our Bankbusters again, which is kind of funny. It's arguable whether or not we should proliferate our Bankbusters, but I like having more cards to draw, so. We can't play that either. Well, we'll just copy a token here and get in with the token for some more manas. And we'll hold back, yeah, we'll hold back these dudes as well. Opponent's gonna have to use another removal spell on Ovika. Opponent can just stonewall it. It's fine though. We get a treasure token which allows us to draw, which is also good. So we can block with this Bankbuster and then draw. I'm really enjoying this game. Opponent's not only playing like a really cool deck, but we also have a pretty cool and unique deck. Go for the throat. No! Ward. Are they gonna pay for the ward? The opponent instantly pays for it. Unfortunate. Go ahead, crew the Bankbuster in response. I think we're out of that emergencies, so we just need to draw an Ovika. Go ahead, draw a card. Pay with our treasure tokens. Big score is nice. Not an Ovika though. Leyline Binding. What is the proper move here? I gotta think. Got to think. We can discard this because we already have a Celestis. Didn't draw us into anything helpful. Go ahead, draw a card and hold up the other one. Sunset Reverie does not do us anything here besides draw a card. We'll go ahead, no attacks. End turn. We're gonna go for the Kiki Jiki combo, or not combo, but copy our Goblin Shaman on their end step so we don't lose it, so we can attack in with more creatures next turn. Opponent has removal for our graveyard, finally, with Ovika staying down there. Unfortunate. Though what we could also do is copy our Bank Buster on their end step. Crew the Bank Buster, copy it, but then I think it probably becomes a a token copy of like very weird. It'll be very weird. Let's see what happens. I'm kind of curious. So let's go ahead. 3, crew, resolve, and then copy it. Resolve, and then draw a card. Resolve. So we get like a sort of free draw there, and then we get to keep it as a creature here. Play a land here. Do we just play out like? I mean, we actually have a ton of goblins that we can get down. So let's go ahead, maybe draw a card. Draw one card. See what we get. Okay, go for the throat means well, this Sunset Welder is gonna do wait, no, we don't make goblins anymore. I forgot. My bad. So this was a completely wasted spell. I did do a little bit of forgetting there, didn't I? Alright, well, let's go ahead, crew our buddies here. And then do we want to crew this? Or yeah, let's go crew this. Actually, we can just do this. Hold one more back as a token, and then create a copy of this so we can attack in with it. And then we'll go in with everything besides this. Create a treasure token. And we can Leyline Binding and go for the throat if they choose to block in any favorable manner. We can also depopulate here potentially. I'm trying to figure out what the right play here is to do. And we got these Bank Busters. We can't really depopulate after creating them now that I think about it. Are they going to double block the Bank Buster? It does have 3 draws on it. They do go for the double block, so we can go ahead and blow them out with a go for the throat. We can destroy the token, but at the same time, the Corpse Appraiser is a bit more important to get rid of because it's got 3 toughness. Opponent takes 4, so we're making progress. Do wonder if we're going to die on the crackback here. We can Leyline Binding. So I think we'll be fine because we get rid of. We'll take 6 absolute maximum at the moment, so we can Leyline Binding and take 3, and we can chump block so we take none. So I think we're doing okay. Bonk. End turn. We lose both of our tokens. Pass turn. Opponent at 4, 2 creatures. Don't you dare touch my goblin. Oh, I was gonna say, I was thinking about I did not make it into the creator like early access event for Thursday for March of the Machine, so I was wondering if you guys would be interested, or you all would be interested in videos about, or I would probably do them in addition to like actual gameplay videos, but videos about like my top mythics, what are the top or like actually top playable commons I think that exist for the set, and then like others, like basically talk about like shorter videos about smaller sets of cards, because I know I did the set review, but at the same time it was pretty long and I don't think many people watched it. We'll go ahead and Leyline Binding this owl. I think we win there. Yep. All right. We beat a somewhat ranked deck. I don't know if they were playing the exact version of it, but hey, this deck is kind of good. Kind of good. Ovika's fun. If you can get her to stick on the battlefield, and she's hard to remove. Like, we saw there that we got Ovika onto the battlefield like 3 times there. Opponent removed it twice. Or, we got it onto the battlefield, opponent removed it, reanimated it again. So, we got onto the battlefield twice. I was miscounting. But our opponent removed it both times, but every time they removed it, they lost 3 life and lost out on their entire turn. So, honestly, kind of decent. Sunset Robbery is pretty good. We do not have mana for Go for the Throat. But we will be able to pass to the festival. Path to the festival relatively easily. I think we actually have less cards in them, so we actually get to draw, like, do everything, which is awesome. We technically could channel this herd migration as well, which is awesome. Get rid of this. Actually, yeah, we have Go for the Throat in hand, so we're gonna go ahead and do this. They don't have any like spells, so we also get to keep one, which is nice. Play this, and then maybe discard the herd migration on their turn to gain 3 life. Opponent is gonna have a tough time cracking us. Squee. Oh gosh, it's Squee. We do need now one of our Leyline Bindings, I think. We got full domain here, which is nice. What we go ahead and get. We have technically, yeah, every basic land type we could want. So it's really a matter of what ones we need double of. Double white is kind of important if we ever draw to populate. You want to go ahead and no blocks. And then we can play out Celestis and cast Go for the Throat on whatever is relevant. We should do this before they go to attack if they don't want to attack with their Squee. If they move to their attack phase, we go for the Throat Squee. Because every time they attack him with Squee, they get another thing. Resolve. 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 Alright, so they've done everything. Get rid of Squee then. They don't have enough cards in their graveyard to go ahead and reanimate it, or cast it from the graveyard. That is about the worst thing that we could have drawn. Oh yeah. If we play Path of the Festival and top deck a untapped land, does that help at all? No. Okay, so what we can do here is we can trigger Celestis to gain a life, discard Ovika. Opponent just had another Squee. That is unfortunate. I think we might end up dying here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 damage. No, we're not dead. We're just most of the way there. Oh, hold on. Activate only as a sorcery? Only as a sorcery? Who does that? Why is it only as a sorcery? We're dead. Actually, no, we're not dead. Okay. Is this the most clutch thing? I mean, I screwed up because I thought I could activate that on theirs turn, but opponent has more creatures and more life, so we gain 4, we create 2, and then we create 2 more because we're the wonderful Wizard of Oz. Is this da 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 da? Like every creature on their side of the field is obnoxious, very obnoxious. So currently we have 6 life. So we need to block. I think we need to one chump a bunch of things. Yeah, we're gonna do this. We take 2 damage, they search 1 card deep off of Felden. Or they get to exile the top card of their library. If it's a lightning strike. No, we should be good. Oh, we only took. We're up to 4 still. Okay, good. They just got a mountain. Good. Good, good. Okay, we can cast 2 spells, create 6 dorks. Hmm. Wait a minute, that's... Wait a minute. Did I make a mistake? Because if I fill up their graveyard, they can cast a sweep from their graveyard, we'd take 3 regardless. So, do we just play Path of the Festival, create 3 dorks, search up a swamp, or a... Oh, I don't know what to do. I don't want to die. I don't want to die. Death. Legend Rule the Celestis, because we get 3 more dorks. Keep the untapped one. I'm going to regret having attacked in with Ovika. Rabbit Battery, I think that means we are just dead. Because they have 6 creatures, they gain an extra 1. No, okay, we are good. So we can keep just chump blocking at the moment. They had another creature there to play, so we can't use Celestis. Or we don't get the Celestis trigger, which would allow us to gain a life and then draw a discard. That big score top deck was pretty clutch. Alright, block, 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 block. And then block, block, block. You get to search the top, or exile the top card of their library, and it's a Phoenix Chick. Obnoxious. They don't cast it. Go for the throat. Very good. Alright, we'll go ahead. I think we'll cast this to get 3 more goblins. Swing in, hold up 3 goblins, hold up, go for the throat. Or we'll have 3 goblins on defense. We'll go ahead, tutor up a a green source. And that's an Ovika. No, we don't want an Ovika. And we will go ahead, hold up, go for the throat. We have 3 creatures on the board. They could unequip both their rabbit batteries, swing in with the Phoenix Chicks. They get another goblin off of Squee. So I don't think we can actually attack in here, funny enough. We'll go ahead, no blocks, or sorry, no attacks. I mean, we could attack in with everything and then die. That is an option. But we do get 2 more goblins off the go for the throat. I should have remembered that. Alright, fun. We'll get rid of their Felden most likely, and then double block Bloodthirsty Adversary. Single block the extra goblin. 1 block the Squee or something. So Ovika is acting as quite the wall to our opponent's deck here. Reckless Impulse. Lightning Strike is bad, to put it lightly. Do they have any other Phoenix Chicks in the graveyard? No. Okay, cool. If we get a reanimation spell, we could depopulate and then reanimate Ovika. One is going to reconfigure it off of it. which is understandable. I'm gonna reconfigure that off of that. Attack in with everything. We weren't planning to kill Squee anyway. I think we're just gonna go with this. We get 2 more goblins. We need to take no damage here. Is that possible? Oh my goodness, did we manage to blow out our opponent here? They lightning strike our face. We're down to 1. Bank Buster off the top. Absolutely, we'll take that. Absolutely. Path of the Festival. 3 more. Too bad we do not have lethal yet. Opponent needs to top deck something very nice here to kill us. Will they top deck it? That is the question. We got another black source. And scry, get rid of that. Keep the Jetmir's Garden to draw. And then swing it in the air. We have 11 damage. It's swinging with like 2 goblins or something in Ovika. No. Swinging a Ovika. Okay. They top a Phoenix chick, we die. So no attacks. But if we get a Ovika in there, we can win the next turn. I think. I'm gonna play it safe, I think. I think this is the move. Bloodthirsty Adversary off the top. That'll do it. They recast Lightning Strike from the graveyard, and we die. Damn it. No Sunset Revelry for us, no Celestis life gain triggers because everybody was flinging spells nonstop. Alright, we'll play one more game here, see how we do. Now, this deck has been a lot of fun though, and we've actually won probably more than we should have. Sunset Revelry, Rafine's Tower. Leyline Binding is going to be no mana here shortly. We got full domain in 2 lands, which is always a good feeling. Free Leyline Binding, don't mind if I do. Don't mind if I do. Opponent is also playing a multicolored deck. Kind of terrifying in its own right. Let's play down the Fable, get the Fable ticking. I guess we'll be somewhat responsible. We can discard this Jetmir's, but it is a second green source, which we currently do not have. I don't know if it's important. Okay, it became much less important. We'll go ahead and discard this. Our opponent, they're playing everything besides a red here. Do we need our Sunset Revelry? I think we'll go ahead and discard it and look for something a little bit more impactful. That looks pretty good. Go ahead and attack in. Keep up the treasure. Play Bank Buster. And Path of the Festival? Yeah, we'll go Path of the Festival. It allows us to scry. It's pretty good. Pretty good. We'll go ahead and pick up a second white source so we can sweep if we need it. Another Path of the Festival. That's a nice card. I do like ramping. Especially with our opponent here. We'll go ahead and keep it. Maybe our opponent will like siphon insight and steal it. We don't have any mana for Leyline Binding, but we can Leyline Binding on upkeep if they play out a Shieldred. They don't have double black, so it's not going to happen. They have Wandering Emperor though, and they're going to go ahead and get rid of our Goblin token. We do not have any Planeswalker removal besides our Leyline Binding here. think we'll go ahead. Pass to the festival. Well, actually, let's draw a card and see what happens. Ovika. Alright. In that case, I think we'll just hold up Go for the Throat and Leyline Binding. I think we Leyline Binding the Emperor. It's a kind of a good card. We'll do it on our turn so they don't get any value out of it. I mean, we could do it on their upkeep, but it's not going to change anything. It's not like they're going to flash out a creature on upkeep. Celestis, we do also play that card. It's a decent card for this kind of a grind fest. We get to big score aware of Vika, or we can just ramp to it. Let's see what we draw. Leyline Binding is nice. I think we'll go ahead Path of the Festival. Grab ourselves a... We have 2 white. Another red might be good. And then an untapped land means we cast a Vika next turn. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Also, Rapine's Tower also allows us to do that. We'll go ahead and play that out. Get our lands up. I don't want to attack against Kiki Jiki, just in case they have an Emperor. So we can hard slam Ovika. Jace, that is lame. They... okay, they go for that. This is actually really good because we get to completely blow out our opponent here by doing this. Ovika, they do have mana for a counterspell. Ooh. Ay, caramba. That's not fun. Well, we might be able to Big Sword into a Reanimator spell for it. In the meantime, though, your Jace is going to have to go some other place. I rhyme. No attacks, it doesn't do any damage. We have Go for the Throat, but our opponent is playing Walkers, so that's not very helpful. We're going to have to rely on these Leyline Bindings and hope our opponent isn't playing Invoke Despair or Destroy Evil, or what is the Vanishing Slash? I don't care, you win. I don't want to play that. I don't want to play that. Alright, we'll go ahead and hop into deck tech. Sorry for the insta-concede there, but they can have the win. They like making people salty, presumably, and they made me salty, so I gave them what they want, you know? Everybody's happy. I don't have to play against them, they got what they want. Alright, besides that point, Herd of Ovika. This is a really funny deck. I'm surprised it works so well. I don't think it normally should work that well. We had some dirty opponents, I think, but we have Sunset Revelry as a very good way to catch up to hasty or aggro opponents. We can gain life, create dorks to chump block, and then if our opponent's just drawing more cards than us, and we're letting out a lot of cards, we also get to draw a card. This card is just really good in a slower type deck when you're trying to beat those aggro matchups. Go for the Throat. Need to remove that Shieldred. Period. Alright. Good talk. Ragnar Bankbuster. Drawing cards. Very good. Very important. Yeah, this helps us to keep gas up in between our different turns. Honestly, I'd probably go down 1 Celestis and go up a Bankbuster, maybe. Just because card draw is so bloody good. And also, it's another 2-drop, so we're not going to be doing too much on 2. Having more Bankbusters would be nice so that you can curve out a little bit smoother. We did somehow manage to top deck like 2 of our Celestises, or like have 2 Celestis in hand, I feel like somewhat frequently, or maybe that was only 1 game, but it's kind of annoying because it is a legendary artifact. Veiled Mealbreaker, pretty self-explanatory. Enter the battlefield, create a 2/2. Goblin Shaman, whenever it attacks, create a treasure token. This card is good. You get a thing that ramps you, and then the next chapter, you go ahead and discard something that you want to reanimate, or just discard your least useful cards away and draw, hopefully, better cards, which is very helpful. And then lastly, you can go ahead and copy some of your non-legendary creatures. Doesn't really work particularly well with Ovika because Ovika is a legendary creature, but it's still not the worst thing to have a flipped Kiki Jiki on this in this deck. We used it to copy a Bankbuster, which was a lot of fun. Path to the Festival. I actually enjoy this card in this deck a ton because of flashback. It makes it just like something to do when we slowly run out of cards, and it can just sit there in the graveyard until we get Ovika, and then we can flash it back and somehow instantly get like some goblins going. Because otherwise, like, if you have no spells, once you get Ovika out, it's kind of sad. Um, Celestis. Already talked about this. It's a 3 mana rock, but it says pay 3, tap it. If day is night, or sorry, if it's night, it becomes day. Otherwise, it becomes night. So like flip the day-night cycle and only activate it as a sorcery. We almost got punished there. Well, I think we still lost the game against mono red, but yeah, whenever day becomes night or night becomes day, you gain 1 life, and then you may draw, and if you do, discard. So this can help us draw this card into our Ovika, or draw, discard our Ovika into our graveyard to Vat Emergence. So yeah, good fun. To populate, we're running 3 of them, so if our opponent goes a little bit too wide for our own personal taste, we can go ahead and sweeper them down. So this plus like Sunset Reverie is our sort of like anti-aggro creature board strategy. But yeah, to populate, good for that. Big score. This card is a good way to, again, discard Ovika and then potentially reanimate it. Also draws us 2 cards and creates 2 treasure tokens. So it's almost like a 2 mana draw to create 2 treasure tokens. Yeah, you have to discard a card, but it's nice that you can cast this and then hopefully cast something that you draw. So like if you need to find a Leyline Binding to remove that important permanent the opponent has, maybe you go ahead and do that. You get treasure tokens so you're not completely out of mana. Very nice. Vat Emergence. We're playing this one. The proliferate is actually somewhat relevant with the Bank Busters and Fable, but we're mainly playing it because it's a sorcery. Well, it's a spell that can return a creature card from the graveyard, similar to Cruelty of Gix. The game is lagging. Alright, there we go. Cruelty of Gix, 5 mana, 2 black, and then the last chapter, put target creature card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. So yeah, this card is like that last chapter, and then it also has a proliferate. So for the most part, that's what most people use Cruelty of Gix for, is that last chapter. The first 2 chapters do add value, but yeah, we're playing this because we're more likely to be able to cast it without any problems, and we can still go ahead and reanimate the opponent's Atraxa if we get the chance, which would be really funny. Leyline Binding, we already talked about this card at the very beginning of the video, but it is super good because it's usually 1 mana. We're playing Domain deck. We have a bunch of basic land types because the triumphs count as each of the different basic land types. So it's very easy for us to go ahead and complete our domain, and this to be a 1 mana flash, remove target permanent opponent controls. It is problematic because we did see our opponent play Farewell there, and if opponent plays Invoke Despair, we're going to be losing our enchantments, and then they get those things back, which is also very problematic because a lot of things have ETBs or enter the battlefield triggers. But in this deck, it works as a like good secondary removal to our Go for the Throat, and it's really awesome with Ovika because when you cast this for 1 mana, Ovika is like, nope, that's a 6 mana spell. It's a 6 mana value spell. It only costs you 1 mana to cast, though. Mana cost and mana value are 2 different things. So you still get 6 goblins when you cast it with Ovika out there. So really cool, a lot of fun, decent removal. Herd Migration. We saw this actually win us a game, which was hilarious. We're mainly playing it for the discard ability. Here you can pay 2 mana, discard it, search your library for a basic clan, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle, you gain 3 life. So this can help us curve out more cleanly if we're stuck on 2 lands. Gains us life, so those aggro decks we're a little bit more likely to get away from. And then it's a 7 mana, create 5 3/3s. And then if we also have a Vika out there, then this turns into create 5 3/3s and 6 1/1s, which is funny. So yeah, that is the deck. We also have a Vika. I'll just quickly go over Ovika again. What a wonderful card. 7 mana, 1 blue, 1 red, 6/6 flying, legendary Phyrexian Nightmare. Ward 3, pay 3 life. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create X 1/1 red Phyrexian Goblin creature tokens, where X is the mana value of that spell. They gain haste until end of turn. So this card, ton of fun to get those like triggers off of. And it's really not that hard because there's a ton of non-creature spells in standard right now. But we tried to go off with this card in this deck using a bunch of non-creature spells, all of the best ones that we could from all the different colors to some degree. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. So if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. All that stuff helps out a lot. And have a nice morning, evening, night, afternoon, wherever and whenever you're watching. Ciao.